You're watching the Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, replacing missing teeth with mini dental implants. According to my first guest, he says nobody should be wearing a loose-fitting denture. With us, we have an expert on the topic of mini implants, Dr. Steve Gant. Dr. Gant, welcome to the program.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, now, I know you brought a lot of photos and you brought some models, right? For people that don't know your practice, I guess you've been there about 17 years, who's a typical patient and what are the different services you offer?
I'm a general dentist in a very busy practice. We do children's dentists with sealants. We do fillings. We do root canals. We do a lot of surgery. I was fortunate to have a lot of training in the military, which gave me a lot of ability to do surgery and things that I wouldn't do normally.
So you do just about everything there. Is whitening still popular?
We do a lot of whitening. As a matter of fact, we do free whitening for life. You know, we use that as just as a leader to get people in the office, and it works well. We get a lot of new patients just from that. We replace missing teeth with implants, mini implants. And my biggest frustration is the patient that comes in with a denture.
You don't like dentures, by the way, you said.
I don't like the frustration of people getting a denture. Dentures are the easiest thing to make and they're the hardest thing to get correct. And it doesn't matter how well a denture is made, it's going to be loose. It's not only ill-fitting, but most of the times people have to glue them in. And it's just not a very nice result after all the work we do to get that patient to a denture. I don't see too many happy people with dentures, very few. And it's just a very, very frustrating situation.
Now, at the top of the show, I said that you said no more dentures, that nobody should be wearing a traditional denture. Elaborate on that.
Well, I did my first mini implant 11 years ago, and I did a stabilization technique for a patient that had a poor fitting denture. We put 4 implants in the bottom, and they walked out and they could eat. It was just a wonderful experience. It was life-changing. And when I've been working with all the problems with dentures for many years, and to see the changes that we could do just by stabilizing these, it's just been a godsend.
So what, snap in, snap out?
Snap in, snap out. It sounds so simple, but it is just a wonderful, solution to a lot of problems that we've seen. Well, back to your original question, I don't like dentures. I don't think anybody should be wearing dentures in this day and age. There's too many wonderful things that we can do to correct the situations of ill-fitting dentures. And people need to know that.
So you talk about denture wearers. Are there a lot of denture wearers where you are?
Well, not only where I am, but roughly there's a statistic of about 50 million denture wearers in the United States. And I would imagine within a 50-mile radius of me, there's thousands of people with dentures. I know they're out there, and they just need to get the message that something can be done to help them.
So if there are, as you say, tens of thousands or thousands of people wearing an upper or lower denture, then why aren't they all coming in to get their dentures attached to mini implants? What's your take on it? If it's so good.
They don't know. They don't know it's good. They don't know it's available. And I'm sure it was a very traumatic experience going through and getting a denture. And the only reason they'd come to the dentist now is maybe a sore spot, getting something adjusted. But that's the only reason they would want to show up. They just don't think anything's available anymore. I'm sure many may have had a consult and been told they didn't have any bone, they couldn't do anything. I don't need a lot of bone to help these people.
But isn't it true if you've been in dentures like 30 years, you don't have enough bone for these mini implants?
No, it's not true.
Okay.
There's all kinds of bone that's available when we're doing these minimally invasive implants. It's just amazing the amount of bone that we can get by with on these small little ridges. And we can put these implants in, and the dentures will snap into it, and they can eat anything they want.
One of the things you say is on the day of the procedure, there are people, certain people that can walk in with no teeth and walk out with a full arch of teeth that don't come in and out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do it all the time. We do it once a week. It's becoming standard of care, and they just need to get in there and find out what's available to them. I think the other reason people don't come in is they have nothing but pain and misery associated with the reason they needed dentures in the first place. A lot of surgery involved in taking teeth out. They just went through a lot of problems, and I don't think they want to associate that fear again.
They don't want to come back to the dentist.
No.
Do you hear that, by the way? Because nobody likes going to the dentist.
I hear it all the time.
Like, what do they say? No offense, doctor? What do they say?
Yeah, it's no offense, doc. I like you, but I don't want to be here. I don't like what you do. And it's just a very good thing that I'm a very secure individual, that I wouldn't have to, take that literally. So
Do you laugh when they say that, or do you have a comeback after all these years?
I just tell them, yes, I'm tickled you're here. I love the fact you're here, and I'll try to make this easier for you. But I know you're scared. I know you're scared. I know you don't want to be here, and just let us show you what we can do to make this easier for you.
So these denture wearers, they can come in. You put mini implants in their mouth, right?
Right.
They snap in, or they have an option for fixed, a full arch of teeth that's fixed.
Yes.
How soon can they eat after the procedure?
I know this is hard to believe, but we actually will deliver that snap-on denture, and they'll go home that evening and they'll be able to eat anything.
Really?
Yes. Now, I'm not saying that's true with everybody, but so many that we've done have, we always follow up with a call that night, and we're tickled to death when they say, well, yes, we just got back from dinner. We went to dinner and ate steak, or we went and I ate a cookie. I bit things off that I haven't been able to do in 20 years. So we know it works. We hear that routinely. I have a gentleman friend that couldn't wait to call me, that just got back from dinner, had a steak, and he was a gentleman that had a lower denture that just flopped around, and he couldn't eat anything. And he was the most amazing individual because he was so excited, the fact that he was able to go out and actually have dinner. And
so he calls you.
He calls me. I play golf with the gentleman, and he called me because he didn't believe anything I was going to tell him. He didn't believe it would work, and he was eating crow, letting me know that we were right, and he was able to eat. And it's a life-changing experience for these people.
What about pain? Like, what does a guy like that, your golfing buddy, say when it's all done?
He didn't have any pain. He was delighted. We do give pain medication, but he might have taken an Aleve just as a precautionary thing. Went to dinner, had a wonderful dinner. He and his wife ate the whole time laughing and giggling, and he couldn't wait to call me and say, I'm sorry, you were right. I did not have any discomfort. I'm not in any pain, and I hope I don't have any pain tomorrow, but I'm just letting you know, this is wonderful. I'm eating anything I want, and so this is good feedback, and we hear it all the time. Another thing about my friend is he regrets not doing it years before because it was presented to him in the office many times. He was just never ready to hear that next message. And I hear.
Now you golf with him, right? You knew he had a lower denture when you're golfing?
Yeah.
And you were telling him about it?
I'm able to watch him flop it around when he's talking sometimes. Yeah, I tried to explain this to him numerous times and what it would do. And when he finally did it, it was like everybody else's comment. They wish they would have done it earlier. They just didn't realize the difference it made in their life.
Now you say you transform people's lives.
Absolutely, we do. It's the most amazing thing I've seen in dentistry. It's overwhelming to see the satisfaction people get when they've been in misery from these dentures for years and years. And people are frustrated. You know, the dentures don't fit. They use glues to put them in. I had one lady the other day that we couldn't get her dentures out before we started, and she was telling us to go ahead and get her some warm water to get rid of this, so to loosen up the bond with this. Well, can you imagine if she's out eating and drinking warm tea or coffee, it's loosening that stuff up and you're swallowing it? That's just the most horrendous thing people can do. But it's happening every day to these people with ill-fitting dentures. They glue them in. It's not a healthy way to go. I see people that come into my office that have been denture wearers for 20 years. You know, you can just look at their face and see they're frustrated, they're depressed. You know, they don't eat right, but they don't have the personality they had when they had teeth. You know, you have teeth, so you can talk and you can laugh and be social. They can't, and this is frustrating. And I can give you the perfect example of a lady I brought pictures of.
Okay, let's take a look.
This lady comes in, and you know, just looking at her, you can tell that this lady's miserable. And you can tell that the denture she's wearing, you can't tell she's wearing a denture, but we just are amazed at the frustration.
Look, what do they say? So they're on the consult. What do they tell you?
This lady has had dentures for 15 years, and she has never been able to wear a lower denture. As a matter of fact, she came in and didn't even bring the denture. And we explained what we can do. I not only inform them that it can be done, I try to explain that we do this every day of the week and that we know it works, and we assure them that we can help them. And we know, or I know, that the satisfaction that they're going to get, we're going to change their lives. We're going to make them a social person. They're going to be able to smile. They're going to be able to laugh. And this is going to be something that they're going to wish that they'd done the 15 years earlier.
So with her, what'd you do?
With her, you can tell just by looking at her that her upper denture is not showing any teeth. It doesn't give her any fullness in the face. So the first thing I explained was I'm going to recommend a new denture for you, upper and lower. And on the lower that you can't wear, I know you've been told that you don't have any bone. You can't wear a denture that would be stabilized. And I said, I'm going to stabilize it with these mini implants, and you're going to be able to eat anything you want. This is the picture of when we completed her case.
Oh my goodness.
And we're giving her a mirror just to be able to see. Now, of course, she doesn't look this good with the final. She looks this good with the dentures, but when we're seeing for a post-op when we took this picture, she's done her hair, she's smiling. It's just a different person. We've changed her personality, we've changed her, and we've given her a reason to be happy again. And we see this all the time. Now, she went to eat that night, and the first thing she did was email my assistant that I just ate cashews, and I haven't been able to wear a denture for 15 years. And that's a lot of satisfaction on both of our parts. And that's what we hear all the time. And that's what we want for everybody that wears a denture, because they're all miserable like this. We don't see too many people.
And they just don't know their options.
They don't know. They don't know it's out there for them. Or they may have been to somebody that does conventional implants and been told, well, you don't have enough ridge. You're going to have a bone augmentation. That's to widen the bone and make it easier for implants to be placed. And you know, we look at it in a different light. They've got plenty of bone for the minis. And
so mini implants are different than traditional implants.
Absolutely.
But mini implants work? Are there any studies to back that they work?
Yeah, there's a
Meaning
group.
They don't fall out all the time?
No, there's a group out of New York that's done a study of 5,600 implants over a 12-year period. Statistically, they're just as effective as conventional implants. No difference. And yes, they work. Absolutely. They work every day of the week in my office.
They have been told elsewhere, you don't have enough bones for dental implants.
Correct.
And you're able to do it in your office. So what is it, help me understand, what are you doing that's different than somebody that tells them you don't have enough bone? Is it philosophical difference, technique difference?
I think, it's technique difference. The conventional implants are a larger diameter. These are minimally invasive. Okay. We don't need as much bone to place them. And they're less painful. They don't see the pain that we associate with the conventional implants. And cost-wise, there are chains out there that will do these cases, and we can do the same type of case, and we're 40% cheaper than any of these. Plus, we're less invasive.
So the mini implants are a lot less expensive.
Absolutely. Much less expensive.
Now, insurance across the board here in the U.S., Medicare, Medicaid, does not cover dental implants, mini implants, the whole part of the procedure. Is that correct?
Correct.
You offer financing?
We do. We offer financing to help patients get through this. Cost is always a factor on anything they do. But my biggest positive is if somebody comes to my office for a second opinion and they've been given the pros and cons of conventional implants, and I present my case with the minis, I will get 98% of these people. The ones I don't get probably just couldn't afford to do it anyway. But I get them all. I do, and they're just ready to hear this message, and money's always an option.
Now look, you were a military dentist, and you said you saw just about everything. And you said, in my green room, this is the happiest group of patients. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but I think you even said they want to hug you.
Oh, this lady was so delighted that the way she looked in the end product. She not only hugged me, she hugged every staff member that was involved with this. She even hugged the lady at the front desk that did the consult on the cost. So these are success stories of people that are we're changing their lives.
So nobody should be wearing a denture.
Nobody should.
That's not supported by something.
It should at least be stabilized by something, absolutely.
Now, one of the things you told me in the green room over there, and you said it as if, almost like you were whispering, you said, Randy, if these denture wearers knew how good this was, I couldn't handle the business. You said they'd be lined up. I think you said that.
Yeah, they would. They would be lined up.
You couldn't handle the business.
We couldn't handle the business. And it's a nice thing, it's a nice problem to have, but people need to know that there's something we can do for them. And that's why I'm here, that's why I'm trying to let this message be put out there, and nobody should be wearing a denture that flops around their mouth and causes this kind of anguish and stuff in their lives.
And we're talking a lot about denture wearers, but there's a huge group of people that go to you because they want to avoid dentures. That means their teeth are bad, and they don't want dentures. And so they come to you for that. And then there's the denture crowd. So when somebody already let's say all their teeth have to be extracted, or they're wearing dentures, what are their options? Is that what the models are for?
Yes.
Okay.
When we do a denture, these are the snap-on types. The nice thing about the dentures we make for the implants, we can eliminate the palate. So they're able to taste...
On the upper.
On the upper, yes. They're able to taste their food better. Everything's just a lot better. Plus, they eliminate a lot of the gag reflex when you eliminate that upper palate.
Okay.
And this is no joke, but these snap out. And this is the way...
Let me see this. Okay, so this is the upper,
That's
the
the
roof
upper.
of the mouth for the denture wear. Okay. I don't know if the camera can see that. So you just make little snaps there.
Yeah,
they snap right in.
We place the implants, put little housings on them, and then pick it up in the denture with some acrylic, and they walk out of there being able to eat. Same thing on the bottom.
All right. Just snap them in.
Snap 'em
full
in.
arch of teeth.
Full arch of teeth. We do 6 implants on the top. We do 4 on the bottom, and we do have the option. Once people realize how wonderful this is, the biggest thing they want to do is, well, what can we do to get back to maybe a full arch of teeth? And if I've got, say...
So don't come in and out.
Don't come in and out. Absolutely not. I can, if I do 6 implants on the max or the top arch, I can add 2 to 4 more implants, and I can actually give them a full set of teeth that is a roundhouse. And these...
Roundhouse, what does that mean?
That means it goes all the way around the arch. It's not just 4 or 5. We've got
It's
10...
a full arch of teeth.
Full arch teeth.
What's that made out of, by the way? That doesn't look plastic.
No, it's not. And this is zirconium. This is one of the hardest metals. This is porcelain, and it's beautiful. And you have 2 options. You could do it like a denture where it snaps in, or we could cement them, and so they never come in and out.
Well, that's what people want, right? I mean, if
Yes,
you're going to do this...
This is the future, I think, of dentistry.
They don't come in and out.
No.
What could they eat with those? They have to be careful with those?
No, they're going to eat even better with these than the dentures. You're probably going to have a little bit of movement, even though they're stabilized. But this is like real teeth.
So with this fixed set of teeth, can you bite like an apple with your front teeth, a carrot with your front teeth? Do you tell them to be careful? Tell me.
Actually, just with the snap-on dentures, you can eat the carrots and you can bite anything. With the zirconium bridges, it's just even more strength and stuff you have to work with. You can eat anything. This is not a problem. This is the closest thing to getting back to
Like
natural
nuts?
teeth.
I mean, you could eat nuts?
Absolutely. This lady here went home and hadn't worn a denture in 15 years, and the first thing she ate was cashews because she missed them so much. Yeah, this is life changing. This is something that's people need to know about. I have a patient it's a good friend of mine, and actually he was a friend of my mother and his wife and all of them, a group they ran. His wife died, and he's 75 years old. And he had a couple missing teeth in front where he had a little flipper that flipped up and down. And I'd mentioned to him numerous times over the years, let's replace that. Let me put a couple implants and give you something solid in there, not comes in and out. And he was never ready to hear that. Well, last year, he comes in and he wants to talk to me privately after he had a cleaning. And he said, hey, Steve, I got a girlfriend. And he says, every time I kiss her, this thing falls down. He said, tell me more about those implants you've been telling me about. And we took him in another room, took impressions, and a couple weeks later, we put a couple implants in and a couple of teeth, and he's not having that thing fall down on his little girlfriend now. But this is the kind of thing that we are changing people's lives with. And this is something that happens every day.
A lot of your practice, instead of bridges or partials or whatever, you're giving them mini implants, even for single teeth.
Yes.
And it's cheaper. It's less expensive, you say.
Yes. Instead of doing a 3-unit bridge, my guys are cutting down 2 adjacent teeth that are fine. I can put an implant in there and a crown. It's a lot cheaper than the bridge.
And will they last as long?
I placed my first mini implant back in 2004. It's still there. It's doing wonderful.
Okay, good. You have time for one more photo. What else? What are we looking at over there?
This gentleman is 92 years old, and I've been asking him for 10 years to stabilize his lower denture, because when he was 24, he was in the Army, or Navy, excuse me, and they took out all of his lower teeth. The worst thing in the world is upper natural teeth against the lower
Is that right?
denture.
Okay.
And he's never been able to eat anything solid since he was 24.
So 94 years old. You're not too old to
92.
92. You're not too old at that point?
No, as long as they're willing to do it, they're going to see the results and how wonderful it is. I showed him these implants 10 years ago, and we sent a testimonial out to people in the neighborhood just to give them an idea of what we were doing. And he comes back and he's ready to hear the next message. Well, he comes with his daughter, and his daughter's really against him spending any kind of money like that. But this gentleman did 4 implants on the bottom, stabilized a new denture. He sends us a message that I just ate a cookie, bit a cookie in half, and ate a sandwich for the first time in my life since I was 24 years old. So that's what I mean by we're changing people's lives. And he's 92, and he didn't care whether he was going to live 6 months longer or 10. He wanted the quality of life that this afforded him. If we live long enough, into our 80s, 90s, whatever, food is a big factor.
That's right. Yeah, people bring you food.
Yes, you bring your food. You want to eat. You want to be able to enjoy the holidays with your families and stuff. And this is the first time, and since he was 24, that he was able to enjoy food and eat anything he wanted.
But did they ever say, they're frustrated that they should have done this a long time ago?
Everyone says it. Everybody makes the same comment, that I didn't know this was available. I wish I'd done this earlier. You changed my life, and I wish I would have heard about this or knew about this earlier. Can I just show you one more case? Because I'm really pleased with this gentleman. This gentleman came in. This is what he looked like. He really didn't want to get a full face photo, but he had an upper denture that he was just gagging. He just didn't have a very nice aesthetic look, and we let him know what we could do, and this is what we were able to come up with, a finished product for him. New upper denture, stabilized with dentures. He wore a partial on the bottom, you could see in that first photo, but we crowned all those bottom teeth, put implants in the back and bridges, and now he has a full mouth set of teeth. He was still a little bit of a gagger, even though we cut the palate out, and he came back like 6 months later and opted to put some more implants in and do like the fix on 6 or grade on 8.
So a full arch of teeth, fixed, they don't come in and out.
Don't come in and out.
Like nobody knows that these are fake.
No, this isn't the picture of him with the grade on 8, but
Grade
that's
on 8 means a full arch of teeth on eight implants?
8 implants, yeah. We usually put 6 implants in the maxillary, and we can do
What does that mean? The lower
it's 4.
maxillaries?
Maxillary's top, I'm sorry.
okay,
And the lower, we put 4 in. And then when we go back and put a full arch bridge, we'll add a couple of implants just for stabilization of the bridge. One of the nice things we have is we have a lot of apprehensive patients, so we can give some sedation that makes things even more comfortable for them. And a lot of times we don't even need sedation, but when we do it and we're doing a big case, I think it's very important to make them as comfortable as possible.
All right, so we're out of time. So no more dentures.
No more dentures.
I mean, if you could, you want to, is this the future of dentistry? Where like in 10 years or 20 years, there won't be such a thing as just a regular denture that's not attached to something?
Yeah. Number one, there shouldn't be a denture at all that's not attached to something. And number two, with the full arch ability to put implants and bridges, they shouldn't even need a denture.
Is that right? So
I think this is the future of dentistry.
Is your favorite the fixed set of teeth that doesn't come in and out? I guess not everybody can afford that.
If they can't afford it, my favorite is just giving them some satisfaction with the dentures. But
Dentures that snap in.
That snap in and out,
That
yeah.
are locked in.
Locked in. And the ones that can afford the bridges, they're happier than any of these denture patients. When we do the snap-in dentures, it's a certain fee. And of course, to do the full arch bridge and add a few more implants is going to be a little bit more costly. But it's not near as costly as the chain stores that you see that are doing this routinely and advertising. I
You're
think
about half off?
at least half
At least
off.
40%
At
less?
least 40% less. And I think we have a wonderful product, and people need to be understanding that it's available to them.
From the time they walk in your door, how soon can you tell them, we could do this? You're a candidate.
I take an x-ray. We don't charge for a consultation or an x-ray. And when I look at the bone and the ridge, I can tell them immediately that I can do this.
Right then and there.
Yes, sir. I can.
All right. I want to thank you. It was very, very nice. Thank you for coming on the show. Very interesting. If somebody wants to know more, they could go to your website. Do they
Yes.
get to see you? Because I know you have a bit of a team over there. You have a very large practice.
No,
For the implants, mini implants, they could see you?
they see me. I'm the one that they'll, my assistant will see them get the x-ray or get the information, and I'll come and talk to them before we do anything, even with an x-ray.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I want to thank you for coming to the show. Very interesting.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
You've been watching The Wellness Hour. I'm Randy Alvarez. For now, I wish you good health.
Thanks for watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news with your host, Randy Alvarez, the authority on health issues.